question here, when you order online, what is your preferred e-commerce platform or medium? We are not using Mentimeter in this one. Not going to let you answer interactively. Just answer na lang with yourself. By the way, these are called B2C platforms or business to customer e-commerce sites that are very much in demand nowadays. These B2C sites provides us comfort and takes us all the hassles of going to the malls na limited pa dapat sa ngayon to physical stalls, tiangge, di ba? If you are fussy or fastidious buyer or yung mabusisi, you do a lot of price and quality comparisons. You browse one product and then similar products tend to appear because artificial intelligence or machine learning detects it. And these B2C sites can help you do this. Nakapili na po ba kayo? Okay, so go on to our next slide. My second question will be, is your usual delivery cargo being provided by through trucks, via multicabs, APV or tricycle, by van, MPV, SUVs, or by motorcycles? By the way, MPV stands for or multicabs, APV stands for all-purpose vehicles, like yung tricycle, or yung sikat ngayon na pinopromote yung tok-tok, no? So yung bago ngayon is very affordable kung bibili ka ng franchise niya. MPV stands for multi-purpose vehicle, no? SUV is your sports utility vehicles. So these transports are convenient to operate for small towns like barrios, barangays, subdivisions, small roads or streets, tinatawag na eskinita, except syempre sa few trucks na malalaki like trailers na bulk deliveries sa commercial establishments. We are just talking about small quantity orders here. Give you a sec to think about those questions. What is your preferred platform and the usual cargo being used by these suppliers? If you're finished answering this, my follow-up question may be, rate the modes of transport in terms of speed, reliability, safety, etc. Rate in terms of service from 1 to 5, in which 5 is the highest na ginagamit natin using Likert scale. However, these modes of transport depends also in which type of shipping option do you prefer or choose. There are 4 options known or common: yung standard delivery, express delivery, delivery by seller, collection point, or pickup. Yung pickup new option. Ang mahal dyan is yung delivery by seller. Express delivery, pinakamura ay yung standard delivery. Also, there is an option to choose your preferred logistics provider. Pwedeng GoGo Express, Ninjavan, JNT, Entrigo, or LXPH. Meron pang Black Arrow at maraming pang iba na na-encounter natin during COD or yung cash or delivery, pre-order, or other payment methods. I suggest you study their behavior kung saan fit sa inyong needs, like yung personal needs nyo, small business needs, etc. Also, do researches by website, help section, comment section, diba? Mga blogs, and then mga ratings ng consumers, etc. regarding the customer feedback. Why did I ask these questions? No, yung 2 questions natin. In this way, we are familiarized on how a supply chain works, which is from the time you place an order to the time you accept the parcel. In fact, these questions can be helpful in building a thesis topic or as inputs in the marketing strategy of your feasibility study subject. Take note, pwede natin silang magamit sa ating pag-aaral. Let us now begin with the familiarization of the 3 basic parts of supply chain. So we have procurement, manufacturing, and distribution. Procurement or purchasing is the process of buying or acquiring materials, supplies, equipment, goods, and service from suppliers. Pero bago dito, we have the planning stage na kinoconsider na pinakamatagal na ginagawa. Planning is usually under the logistics department. Procurement is under the finance department. So, separated ng logistics and finance department. But usually, they are direct partners with production. Okay, for manufacturing or production operations, this is where the process of making the product or service. Kasama na dito yung engineering, maintenance, and safety, quality control, and testing. For distribution or the transportation process, also called delivery process, mga questions dito no during audit is what modes of transport na ginagamit, no? Is it trucking, no? Is it by a plane, etc. And then what is the packaging scheme? What is the palletizing scheme, no? Kung paano siya pinapaleta, ilan yung kamada? What is the warehousing and storage practices? Yan yung mga usually questions sa audit. As with my past experience sa DC or distribution center department is separated from logistics, but also they are direct partners and customers with each other. Question: in which of these is the heart and soul? No? Alin sa tatlo, procurement, manufacturing, and distribution, is the very important department of an organization or business? If you try googling or using Google, samot-saring answers ang makikita natin. Nandyan yung nagsasabing marketing, sales department. Sabi nila, walang production kung walang nag-advertise at nagbebenta. Then yung mga engineers dyan, sabi nila, engineering and production daw. Kasi walang may bebenta kung walang gagawa. Kaya yung budget allocation dapat mas malaki sa production. Do you agree? Dito pa lang, we can see na in contrast ang beliefs na kung sino ang pinakamahalagang departamento. Do you agree? Dun sa mga listeners natin dyan na may industry experience might agree with me on this, no, sa nangyayari. It happens during close meetings or weekly, monthly operations review, no? Okay. So, let's give you a very simple example of how a supply chain works. Okay. Let's say you order a meal. Let's say a budget meal, kiddie meal, or such in a fast food or quick service restaurant, no? QSR industry. Note that this is a simple service process, not your usual manufacturing process, di ba? Kasi supply chain management is not solely concentrated on tangible products. Also, take note that we skip procurement or purchasing process in this example. This is a point of view of a food business operator. Una dito, no, receiving the order can be face-to-face, over the counter, or drive-thru, or through online apps, no? Pwedeng by apps, pwedeng through calls via hotline, phone. Pwede rin yung uso ngayon, yung tinatawag na pasabay, di ba? So, we can see that na nag-e-evolve na ang strategies throughout the years sa dami ng options. Next is the cooking, preparing process. Meron tayong various workstations for different food items like for fries, burgers, side dishes nila, etc. If done face-to-face, payment is accepted outright and order is released. But if COD or cash or on delivery is done outright. Number 4, release the order, payment is accepted. So upon delivery, payment is accepted. So 4 pa lang yan, no? Not included here, by the way, is the receipt of rating of the service process. Yung bang nire-rate natin yung serbisyo nila, which is optional by sa apps, no? Then pwede rin tayong mag-testimony sa FB, sa kanilang website, comment section, or even word of mouth or verbal. Hindi ba nire-rate natin sila in terms of service quality sa food industry? Just like you rate your teachers, professors in the school, no, sa school nyo, in the academy. This is to know the feedback of the customers and how we can improve our service. What we are targeting here is what? Customer satisfaction, di ba? Kung wala tayong customer, wala din tayong business, right po ba? Ito, no? In a point of view of an engineer or businessman, our strategy is we can study the market conditions using the Porter's model o yung 5 forces analysis due to stiff or tough competition. So, yung 5 forces ng Porter's model, I think, natin yan, mapag-aaral natin sa strategic management na subject. Okay? Other business strategy is vertical integration. We increase profit while reducing cost. Example dyan is yung McDonald's. McDonald's own its manufacturing factory, like yung ingredients and packaging. They own also they have their tracking services, their distribution facilities. Meron din silang mga rancho para sa kanilang mga baka, no? Then they have farms for their veggies, etc. Kumbaga, minimal reliance sila sa other companies or suppliers. I say minimal because we are not eliminating the possibility of help from other companies. Also, another example is Apple. Apple uses vertical integration as strategy by owning retail stores. So, hindi sila nagre-rent, no, yung Apple. They own their distribution centers, manufacturing, etc. Take note, even vertical integrated sila, they are not closing their doors to possible partnership, which make the supply chain management much relevant, lalo na sa panahong ito. Okay, so go to the next slide. The supply chain motto is getting the right thing to the right place at the right time. So, or we are we can see the 3 R's: the right thing, right place, right time. No? Moreover, in every supply chain, we need collaboration and cooperation. Before procurement, manufacturing, and distributions are not in sync. So, hindi sila nag-uusap-usap noon, hindi sila nagpa-planning noong araw. Madalas nag-aaway-away pa yan at hindi nagkakasundo. Hindi pa uso noon ng strategic planning at team building activities. But now, as we progress, we need integration. Ang sabi nga, it's not supply chain without integration. To correct this, meron tayong tinatawag na modern supply chain management. Okay, so remember this, getting the right thing to the right place at the right time. So, right timing for the right thing to the right place. Okay? So, meron tayong tinatawag na modern supply chain management, as we can see in this slide. Ano-ano ba yung mga yan? These are the following themes sa modern supply chain management. At the last, no, sa huli, makita nyo rito yung Human Resources Department na included na. Okay, so without each of the following themes, supply chain will not be complete. Remember that not only a department is important, but especially the individual members, no, nakasama dito. Mula rank and file, kahit yung ating mga janitorial services, messengers, or security personnel, kasama yan. Hanggang sa supervisors, managers, stockholders, CEO, even the owner. Remember the 8 principles of TQM, no? Kasama dyan yung total employment commitment. Another thing, hindi nyo na ba pansin na kahit saan dyan pwede mag-work ang isang IE? IE is seen in every position level, department, or industry there is. Example is an IE in accounting section. No? IE sa accounting section. Why not? Diba? We can be finance managers because we have trainings in business and financial management. Can you see the possibilities na we industrial engineers can be supply chain managers or even good business owners? Diba? Okay, let us continue to our next slide. In today's global situation, supply chain faces several issues. What are they? As supply chain partners and leaders, we must be aware of the following. Increasing demand because of the growing population, pagtaas ng populasyon natin, disposable income, no, yung paggastos, rising needs, and other factors. Depleting local, global resources because of many factors like overconsumption, wastages, depleted supplies, etc. Rapid technological changes. For example, is yung inventions ni Elon Musk, the growth of artificial intelligence, robotics, etc. We need to change pace even without the pandemic, and that's the trend during this fourth industrial revolution stage, or also called the cyber physical system stage. If we do not do this, someone will and could topple our business. Maunahan tayo, eventually business goes bankrupt. Then next is difference in principles and values between partners, customers, and suppliers. Nagkakaroon sila ng difference in terms of religion, culture, kultura, paniniwala, beliefs, nationality, etc. Kaya tayo may mga programa laban sa discrimination at pagpapalaganap ng gender equality. And I think manpower is the most important ingredient of every institution. Kung hindi tayo motivated to work harmoniously, magiging toxic ang environment, thus resulting to high employment or high employee turnover rate. No, yung employee turnover rate na KPI ng ating HR department na masama kung mataas ang percentages every year. And lastly, environmental and global issues. Examples are pollution, global warming, waste disposal issues, loss of biodiversity, deforestation, global issues concerning health like this pandemic, COVID-19. So the need for sustainability programs like recycling or the avoidance of the depletion of natural resources in order to maintain ecological balance is needed. So the question here, how can an individual contribute in minimizing the effects of these issues? Ano ang pwedeng gawin ng isang individual or organization para mapigilan or malimitahan ang epekto ng mga ito? First thing is to improve the relationship between partners, customers, stakeholders, government, and even the society. Then everything follows. So domino effect yan. We need to listen to everyone has to say. We are not confined to just our own decisions. We need each other of our own standings regarding the current issues supply chain is facing right now. Okay, so next slide. The most common supply chain goals are to generate profit or yung kita, cost cutting, pagtitipid, and creating quality products. And the most common goal of our supply chain nowadays, kung mapapansin nyo, is cost cutting. No? Cost cutting. However, if we are tasked to purely cost cutting, mag-concentrate tayo sa cost cutting, it will greatly affect our business. Do you agree? Is it a yes or is it a no? If we only concentrate on cost cutting without giving weight to quality, it can give a negative effect to the business. Do you believe that low quality products or substandard products usually comes with a low price? Diba? Consumers are intelligent nowadays and can easily determine what country it is made of, no? Kung saan ang galing yung low quality products, from which supplier, which company, and retailer it came from. Thanks to information and the World Wide Web, na nakikita natin yung ganitong mga situations. So, are we going to utilize technology to gain information regarding this? A big yes. Okay. Next slide. If we have modern supply chain management teams, we also have modern supply chain goals aside from the 3 common traditional goals. A supply chain must be dual contributors to profit. Dual means creating products or providing services that are just in time, JIT, while going lean. Diba? How is this? JIT or yung just in time is galing, diba, sa mga Hapon, no? The goal of just in time is to reduce processing times in the system and response time to suppliers and customers. When we say lean, we are referring to waste, no? Eliminating waste. Waste comes in 8 types in lean manufacturing. Example of this is the T in team moods o yung transport or unnecessary movements of products, people, and equipment. To know more about this, you can also study Lean Six Sigma methodology. So, attend kayo ng Six Sigma training, webinars, certifications, courses, etc. Aside from these goals, meron tayong, syempre, ang product must satisfy customer needs and wants. Let's say your company or business is ISO compliant. However, your product doesn't meet customer demands. You might want to improve on this, syempre. What good is your compliance to ISO international standards kung hindi rin mabebenta ang produkto o tatangkilikin ang inyong serbisyo? Do you agree on me with this? Okay, next slide. When it comes to differentiation or pagkakaiba of one's business to other competitors, there are 4 categories: cost, quality, speed, and flexibility. Cost or competitive pricing, not necessarily low price since it may be of low quality. There is a usual trade-off between pricing and quality. Quality, not necessarily high quality because high quality means high pricing naman. Pero depende naman din ito sa target market. Kung posh or elite groups or middle to high income earners ang target market mo, you might resort to high quality. Speed or promptness, yung dun nga sa JIT, di ba? Example is order fill rate or the rate of how customer orders are fulfilled. Kasama na dito yung efficiency and effectiveness. May pagkakaiba yung dalawa. Efficiency, doing things in a optimal or best way. Effectiveness is doing it right. Then flexibility. Flexibility is one of the 3 classifications of KPI. KPI, by the way, is Key Performance Indicators, where it measures the adaptability to changing environmental conditions like customer needs, government regulations, yung compliance to government standards, emergency cases, etc. However, flexibility is very difficult to measure kasi subjective or qualitative siya. Now, my question to you. Think of 2 competing companies, then compare them in terms of cost, quality, speed, and flexibility. Dun sa cost, no? Which has more or which is more competitive? Which is reasonably priced? alin sa dalawa yung sulit, di ba? Quality, which has better quality, better performance, better looks or aesthetics, etc. Compare them using the 8 dimensions of quality. For speed, mabilis ba yung response time from the time you order to the time it was delivered? And then for flexibility, does the company provide more options or has greater flexibility? May pagpipilian ba? Does the product they're offering have many good features? Does it come with good service? Yon. Another point to ponder, if you want to start as an entrepreneur or a small business owner being self-employed, ask yourself these following questions. Ito po maisingit ko lang kasi 'di ba sabi ko IE can be also a good businessman, 'di ba, or business person. Ito yung mga questions. Do you consider your hobby or your talent as potential business? Hindi ba mostly say pag masaya ka sa ginagawa mo, mas high ang success rate? Let's say you like talking to people, you might want to venture into a marketing related business, di ba? Kung enjoy ka namang magluto, you can build a food business. Yan. Second question, what is success to you? My tip is you try to vision yourself 5 to 10 years from now. What are my goals to achieve it? Write or list down your life priorities. Kung gusto mong yumaman after 5 years or less, venture into business. If you want to be known as a successful engineer, improve your work. No, you study, no, you participate in certification programs, etc. If you want to live a simple and fulfilling life, like what I'm aiming for, pwede rin naman. And then my third question, what is my desired outcome after 5 or 10 years? Think of yourself, no, in 2031. 'Di ba? Visionary ka, 'di ba? Let's say you want to see yourself as an ASEAN engineer, or you like to be a CEO, like you envision yourself to be an owner of an empire, 'di ba? Okay, and then my last question, what are my inputs or resources to achieve my desired outputs? Kailangan ba natin ng malaking puhunan o kapital o medyo maliit lang? Sino-sino yung mga potential partners para ma-achieve ko to? So those questions are just some of you might ask yourself. Remember that the power of positivism and law of attraction is what most successful personalities used. Example dyan is Oprah Winfrey, a famous TV personality with $2.6 billion in net worth. Net worth, no? Not bad. She is not like that before, but through perseverance and positivism, na-achieve niya lahat yan. You might want to know her life story about it for inspiration. Yun, naisingit ko lang naman ito, no? Itong mga tips, no? Okay, let's continue. Additional modern supply chain goals. Define customer wants, create value for customers. So yan, dalawa na yan. Define customer wants in terms of cost, quality, speed, and flexibility. Papaano? By measuring the VOC or yung voice of the customer, or simply do a research on customer feedback. Note that we have two types of customers. We have the internal and the external. Example ng internal customer is your boss. 'Di ba? Yung boss nyo or yung leader or yung manager nyo expects productivity at low cost. While example naman ng external customer is yung inyong mga kliyente, the end users. End users desire good quality at a reasonable price. Next goal is create value for customers. Example is giving best value for their money while they are also giving or receiving freebies. No, yan yung mga hinahanap ng mga practical na tao, yung mga freebies, di ba? Then after sales services, warranty, and then kung may replacement kung nasira, di ba? No, and then etc. Customer also seek convenience in buying. So dapat accessible yung products. And of course, building lifelong relationship between partners. For instance, no, tanong, if you are a supply chain manager naman, what is your specific goal or individual goals in relation to this organization? So, next slide. Specific supply chain manager leader goals are be effective, be efficient, and be adaptable. Effective means doing the right things to the right result. Simpleng halimbawa, no, is nag-type ka sa Word, no, MS Word without error at 40 words per minute. So without error typing at 40 words per minute. 40 words per minute is the average speed of an ordinary person typing. Ayan, effective. So next is be efficient. Efficient means doing things in an optimal way or the best way. Pag sinabing optimal, it is synonymous to best. Example naman ito is you type without error, no, but at a speed of 60 words per minute. So yung effective 40 words per minute without error, efficient is 60 words per minute without error. So yung 60 words per minute is call center standard. So pwede ka na magtrabaho diyan, no? Can you see the difference, no? However, you might first be an effective worker or an effective leader to become efficient. So kailangan muna natin maging effective to become efficient, no? So hindi ka kagad magiging efficient kung hindi ka muna naging effective. Gets nyo ba? Nevertheless, being both effective and efficient must go hand in hand. So kailangan effective ka and also efficient. Then last is be adaptable. So pag sinabing adaptable to changes. Let's say magpapalit kayo ng branding. Kailangan mo bang mag-adapt? Is it soon? Kailangan ba mabilis ang pag-adapt? Ano ang posibleng mangyari kung hindi ka nakapag-angkop or nakapag-adapt? Now, what if a company or businessman failed these 3 goals? No? Ask if what is the problem? No? Saan ba nagkaroon ng problema? You try doing root cause analysis or even fishbone, no? Is it within the 10 M's of management? No, dati kasi yung M's, 4 M's lang yan, naging 5 M's. Hanggang ngayon, umabot na ng 10. So, yung 10 M's na sinasabi, we have the man, money, materials, machine, methods, markets, minutes, motivation, measurement, and mother nature. Kasama na yung environment, no? If there's a major problem, does a company resort to rebuilding, adapting, or innovating, rebranding? 'Di ba? Example, 'di ba, yung sa ating mga beverage giants like Pepsi, yung Coke, 'di ba? 'Di ba lagi silang through the years, no, nag-change sila ng logo, 'di ba? So that is a type of rebranding. Just to add, speaking of a supply chain manager, do you know that everyone can be a supply chain manager? If you are making something, no, means you're managing a supply chain. Pagka may ginagawa ka, kahit ano, means you're managing a supply chain. And there's this saying na supply chain is like nature. It is all around us, kahit saan. Na sabi nga ni Dave Waters, That is a Dave Waters quotation. Okay, supply chain is like nature. It is all around us. Example dito, no? Let's say you're being a cook, being a chef to a home cook, no? Even if you're an engineer, from being an engineer to carpenter, from a logistics company to a online seller, no? Ganun ka laki nung yung scope ng supply chain, no? From being a movie director to simply a blogger, from a manufacturer, big manufacturing company to a hobbyist. Kung standby ka sa bahay, kasama ba yun? Probably kung wala kang productivity, hindi ka kasama, hindi ka considered as a supply chain manager, di ba? Okay, to summarize, so what is our goal? Work better, work faster, less effort, or you work smarter, use fewer materials, eliminate wastages, lower your cost and expense, and be effective, be efficient, and be adaptable. So yan yung mga goals ng isang supply chain manager. I just want to give a brief history of supply chain management before we go to any further. It was in 1911 where supply chain management was first conceptualized by Frederick Winslow Taylor. Frederick Taylor is popularly known as the father of scientific management, or the founder of IE. Yan. 1950s, pallet and pallet lips was first introduced. Yung mga jack lip, no, nung 1950 yan. 1960s, utilized trucks in exchange of trains. Also, computerization of data was introduced na panahon na yan. In 1968, no, Purchasing Association of the Philippines was founded. No, ngayon, ang tawag sa kanya is the Philippine Institute of Supply Management. Mamaya pag-usapan natin itong PISM. In the 1980s is the emergence of new technology. With the help of Georgia Tech, which is a public university in the United States, spreadsheets and interfaces were used to improve logistics planning. In 1985 is the creation of the Council of Logistics Management, or CLM, which integrated inbound and outbound logistics. So pinagsama niya yung inbound logistics at saka yung outbound. 1990s is the first introduction of Enterprise Resource Planning, or ERP. ERP software, by the way, integrates all logistics components, and now called, nung ERP is now called the Advanced Planning and Scheduling Software, or the APS. Nung panahon na yan, nung 1990s, is when China went global, o tinatawag na global manufacturing for their products. 2005, yung CLM became the Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals, or CSCMP. And at present, no, autonomous mobile robots, robotic technologies, supply chain digitization, omni-channel supply chain, sustainability practices, agile supply chain, big data analytics that uses artificial intelligence and machine learning is the new trend. Yan. By the way, I also remembered that subjects in IE evolved throughout the years in line with the technological advancement. Dati kasi we have no supply chain management electives. Ngayon, di ba, may subject na tayong supply chain management. Ang subject ko nun related to supply chain management is called production planning and control. Ng 90s ito. Logistics dati, no, yung term logistics was called warehousing and inventory. Yun yung tawag niya dati. Okay. We can expect more changes in the future as we progress. Supply chain adaptation, no, ito yung tatlo na yan. The transition of supply chain from application to automobile manufacturing no? Ito yung late 1800s. Una dito yung Germany and France until to Ford in 1903. No? Aerospace, electronics, clothing, and then retail sales also adapted after yung ating automobile, aerospace, electronics, clothing industry. So retail sales like supermarkets, example niyan, appliances stores, food chains, and services. No? And then until the two newer supply chain adapters, inabot na rin at nag-adapt ang energy sector, banking, mga bangko, health like mga hospitals natin, freight, humanitarian and social works, and even the government. It shows how supply chain is adapted from manufacturing to the service industry. Kaya pag sinabi nating supply chain, it is not limited to manufacturing only. Remember that. Okay. Okay, so next slide. To continue, we have the basics of inventory management. But first, what is inventory? Inventory are the goods, merchandise, or materials held by a business for selling. Examples nito, different types are raw materials, packaging materials, work in process, finished goods, and maintenance, repair, and operating supplies. For raw materials, example nito are, let's say, snack foods, no? Ano ba yung ingredients ng snack foods? Yung corn, oil, flavorings, salt, no? So those are example of ingredients or raw materials. Sa metal food equipment fabrication, ano ba yung mga raw materials noon? Kunya say we fabricate oven, we need galvanized and stainless steel plates. We need stainless steel tubings. Then we need fittings and etc. So sa packaging materials, examples nito, if we are a if we are manufacturing confectionery products, examples are candy wrappers, cartons, pillow bags. Those are examples of packaging materials. Work in process, examples are items seen in the production area. Pag sinabi kasing work in process, kasalukuyang pinoproseso or kasalukuyang ginagawa. Finished goods, examples ito are items seen in the distribution centers. Ito na yung mga products na ready for selling, di ba? Yung mga nakakahon, yan. And then MRO or yung maintenance, repair, and operating supplies, examples nito are spare parts of equipment, factory supplies. Ano ba yung mga factory supplies? Cleaning materials, PPE, no? Chemicals, etc. The question here for a supply chain manager is, do you have enough buffer stock or reserves until the next delivery of materials? A supply chain manager responsibility is to keep track or to monitor inventory level to satisfy customer demands while keeping the cost low. Ano ba yung mga cost na tinatawag? Like storage, space allowances, handling cost, the cost of pilferages, cost to order, yung taxes, insurances, and etc. Managing an inventory is a big responsibility. Bakit? If inventory cannot meet customer demand, what if inventory cannot meet customer demand? Siyempre, business will be greatly affected. May tendency lilipat ang ating mga customers, thus possible na hihina ang business. Ganon din naman kung overstock ang goods, supplies, equipment, and materials. Pag overstock siya, nakatenga lang ang pera sa warehouse. Uso ngayon sa online sellers and buyers yung tinatawag na pre-order, consignment, pre-selling, or hand-to-mouth buying to avoid overstocking. A very accepted strategy for inventory management is pull system, that uses JIT principles or as needed by the customer basis. Yun yung pull system. Kasi yung push system na sinasabi, meron kang stock. Need mo lang siya na i-market at ibenta. No? So, moreover, pull system also promotes customization that leads to better design and high quality. Okay. So, next slides, we will enumerate the different terms used in supply chain management, like what is a supplier, how to choose a business location, what is quality, etc. Now, let's talk about the less noticed or studied by some in supply chain. And what is that? So, we go to our next slide. The suppliers. What is a supplier? It is simply a person or organization that provides something needed, such as a product or a service. Every business has its suppliers, or tinatawag din natin silang partners. Kailangan natin sila at kailangan nila tayo. Pwede tayo mismo ay suppliers ng iba. No? Pwede rin tayo maging suppliers. Example dito is a bakery. Diba? Maaring ang mga bread na tinitinda ng isang bakery pwedeng makita sa grocery, pwede sa supermarket, pwede sa isang eatery, or pwedeng sa isang pamilya as regular customers. Or pwedeng yung tinapay ng isang bakery makita rin sa kapwa bakery nakatabi. Diba? Bakit maaring ang kapwa bakery or direct competitor mo ay maging supplier mo rin? Pwede silang pagkuhanan ng supply, pwede kang bumili sa kanila pag naubusan ka. Or kung customers naghahanap ng wala sa yung product, pwede mo silang i-endorse at matulungan. Ganon din sila sa inyo kapag pag wala din sila, no? Pwede ka nilang i-endorse. So, it's a give and take relationship. That's why suppliers also are partners. Agree ba dito? Okay. Next is what are the pointers in choosing a supplier. So, remember, not all suppliers are worthy. So, kailangan din pala nating mamili. Yan. So, pointers in choosing suppliers: quality awareness, production capability, technology, trade secrecy, confidentiality, and reasonable pricing. So, quality awareness. Aware ba sila or kung tayo, no, sa 8 dimensions of quality? Ano ba yung 8 dimensions? Durability, longevity, serviceability, aesthetics, features, perceived quality, conformance to standards, performance, and reliability. So, aware ba tayo dun sa 8 dimensions? Next, production capability. May kakayanan ba yung pabrika or yung company na mag-produce ng desired quantity? Technology. Advanced ba or updated ang technology, ang software, ang equipment? Confidentiality. May confidentiality ba between partners na napaka-importante, no? Filipinos are known to have crab mentality, no? Sa ayaw at sa gusto natin, kapwa-kapwa, kapwa sa kapwa, nagsisiraan tayo. No, dapat alisin natin yung ganong ugali, no? So, number 5, reasonable pricing. Worth ba yung price or yung tinatawag na nilang sulit ba yung presyo? Very important point here is partnership or the supplier to customer relationship. Communication is key talaga. Avoid keeping secrets, no, from them. Parang sa pamilya lang yan. No, kung may problema, pag-usapan, wala dapat sinisikreto. Sa suppliers, we have several formal communication methods, no? Paano ka makipag-communicate sa isang supplier? You can do a survey, you can interview them, discuss during meetings, no, with suppliers, and then you can do formal audits and other forms. So, ano ba yung mga purpose nito? The purpose of this is to better understand them. Always remember that a better relationship with suppliers means good business to both parties. Tulungan tayo sa ikaunlad. So, if now may business ka, take time to contemplate about your relationship sa suppliers. no? Hindi lamang sa customers. Okay, the basics of manufacturing and operations. About the basics of manufacturing and operations, the important thing here is integration of business processes, or also called the integrated supply chain management. So what are these examples of collaboration? Yan, no? Research and development with production. So they are partners during product development. Sales and marketing with production. I experienced this as a PPIC analyst. They discuss about how sales forecasts would turn into actual output. Engineering maintenance with logistics. In URC, I've experienced this as a logistics supervisor. Negotiate needs when it comes to preventive and corrective maintenance. No, yun ang usual na partnership ng dalawa. Logistics department to production. Let's say they discuss needed raw materials, packaging materials, and scheduling of work, and so on. Marami pang partnership ang nagaganap sa loob ng isang supply chain. Even the community has partnership to businesses, di ba? Kaya nga tinatawag siyang chain, no? The chain in supply chain. Traditionally, department sections within organizations are separated. No, dati nagkakawatak-watak yan in terms of their goals and aims, na kung minsan ay nag-aaway-away. Remember na internal customers, partners, suppliers, natin sila. To unify them, meron tayong mga team building activities. Strategic planning, no, with R&R, yan minsan ginagawa out of town, no, yung gathering. Importante talaga ang unity to achieve the organizational and individual goals. To continue, in the previous slides, we learned the basics of inventory management. Then, what is a supplier? The pointers in choosing a supplier. And now, I will give you some tips in choosing a business location. Say you are an aspiring entrepreneur and you need the place to start. Some points to consider are cost, demographics or market, government ordinance, foot traffic, and access to other business. Sa cost, no? Low cost is not a prime option, by the way, because it might affect quality. For startups, initially within residence or sa bahay lang tayo, yan, no? Sa mga nagsisimula. An example dito is yung CDO, Food Sphere. Di ba yung makers ng processed meat? They started at their backyard, no? Simula sila nung maliit pa lang sila, nasa bakuran ng nila within their residence. There is a consequence, however, no, kung sa low cost location ang pipiliin. Baka naman kasi maging magastos ito i-maintain. Kasi nakuha natin mura yung location, pero substandard naman ang environmental conditions. Let's say yung drainage niya laging barado, kaya binabaha. So gagastusan pa natin ng malaki, di ba? Imbis na nakatitipid tayo. Demographics, for safety reasons na rin, we should be within proximity hanggat maaari. Then kabisado natin ang kultura, madali tayong makisama, no, dahil na rin sa sa COVID-19, hindi na tayo lalayo pa. Then it is near our target market or yung niche. However, we can explore other places as long as we do researches about it. Government ordinance. Alamin natin yung patakaran ng gobyerno sa pagtatayuan natin ng business, no? Patakaran ng LGUs. Compliant tayo sa IATF guidelines. And then foot traffic. Strategic ang locations to passers-by. So is it within main road? Busy road ba to na may dumadaan na sasakyan or madaling makita ng tao? Sabi nga ni Harold Samuel, location, location, location. Yun yung kanyang mantra. Na sikat ngayon, no, sa marketing. Then access to other business. Hindi lang sa customers, kundi sa kapwa businesses na din. Why? Bukod sa nakaka-attract sa customers, kung maaari rin naman silang makatulong sa atin, no? Yung suppliers doing B2B or business to business transactions, no? Pwede rin silang makatulong. Ever wondered why tabi-tabi yung Jollibee at McDonald's? Di ba? Magkakatabi yan. Shell at Petron, minsan magkaharap pa yan, no? O kaya yung mga groceries, no, mga sari-sari stores, madalas tabi-tabi yan. Yan. Okay, so access to other businesses. Ngunit dahil malaki ang impact ng pandemic sa paglabas ng tao, we are resorting to online businesses, di ba? Like yung dati yung restaurant, ngayon nagdi-deliver na rin sila ng pagkain, no? So, sa panahon ngayon, we can see the rise of e-commerce. Kailangan natin ng online marketing strategies like advertisement sa social media, no? Kaya nagbo-boom yung ating e-marketing. Let us hope na marating natin yung period na nakapag-adjust ng karamihan sa new normal. Pero dapat suporta pa rin sa bawat isang kailangan. Hindi yung nag-aaway-away tayo na evidence sa social media pa lang. Pansinin niyo ba yung mainstream mainstream media, di ba? So next, quality. What is quality? It is the standard of something as measured against other things or similar kind, or the degree of excellence of something. In a point of view of customers or a consumer, what do you like ordering online? Diba? Ako, fast food, diba? Let's say, yung fast food na in-order mo is pizza. If yung pizza flavor na in-order mo ay out of stock, or kunwari, sarado yung pizza parlor, no, due to pandemic, and they are not accepting home deliveries, what do you do? Siyempre, order ka sa iba, or you outsource. Then, you compare that brand na bago mo nabili doon sa dati mong binibili. You compare their quality. Kung ayaw mo sa bagong nabili mo, hahanap ka na naman ng bagong brand. Yan yung walang hanggang hilig na nature ng isang tao. That's called the consumer behavior, no? Always, they are always seeking, or we are always seeking the best or better quality. Why not? No? We are getting our money's worth. Minsan ka nga lang kumain ng pizza sa isang buwan, madidismaya ka pa. Okay. Speaking of quality, in a business point of view, what are the things you consider para balik-balikan ka ng customer aside from product and service quality? We have location, cleanliness, organization, equipment, facilities, transportation, raw materials, packaging, suppliers. Yan. So, yung location, strategic ba ang location, no? Ang business location, pati ang distribution channels. Cleanliness, do they abide to 5S, no? Yung safety, sanitation, and other environmental standards. Organization, do they train their personnel? Updated ba sa learnings ang mga personnel? So, I myself is an advocate of continuous learning. Equipment, upgraded ba ang equipment, or better is to acquire the latest technology, software, machines, or transport service. For raw materials, packaging, abide health standards and government standards. Sa suppliers, meron ba tayong core or dependable suppliers or partners? Take note, for suppliers na we are not advised to prioritize low-cost suppliers. No, kung low-cost kasi or low-cost, usually low quality din ang binibigay niyan. Yan. So, that's a tip, no? Kanina pa, no, we are hearing the word logistics. Na lagi kong binabanggit yan eh. What is a logistics ba? Yan. Logistics is the coordination of a complex operation involving a large amount of people, facilities, or supplies. Logistics or operations that involve inventory management is a part of supply chain involving the coordination. The hardest part in logistics management is planning. So, mas matagal pa usually ang planning phase than execution. Planning involves research. So, may feasibility studies yan. And then, it also involves scheduling, cost information gathering, and etc. We have 4 planning types. Yung strategic planning, madalas nating na-encounter, involves long-range planning. Can be 1 to 10 year plan na align sa mission and vision, values, goals and objectives ng isang organization. Kung small business ka, you need at least 1 year advance planning. We go on to the logistic stages for a manufacturing setup within supply chain consists of the following. Linking of these elements are very important. For the word supply chain, the chain means binding. Yan. No element must be missing to break the chain. Pag may mawala o ma-displace tayo na isa dyan, masisira ang kadena natin. For example, a manufacturer to produce goods, it was triggered by customer demand through sales forecast. They will be needing the help from trusted suppliers and so on. Manufacturer needs a distribution center that knows the network to introduce stocks to retailers like stores and warehouses. Retailers in return, which is the front line of distribution, provides the consumers the product and service. We, tayo as supply chain managers must maintain a balance in the system. How? Paano yun? By addressing the needs when there's a problem within it. Talk to people, makipag-usap tayo. We must be open to communication with them. Walang sikreto, no secrets. Pag hindi kaya, hindi kayang gawin, dapat sabihin. In this way, magiging maganda ang relationship ng isang isa at walang nag-aaway. Yun. Okay, to be a world-class supply chain, we need the following components. So we have these 4 components. We have procurement or purchasing, which is under the finance department. We have the operations. Examples ng operations are sales, marketing, finance, human resources, administration, admin, IT, and other support staff. Manufacturing, yung example nito is production department, maintenance, engineering, quality control, R&D. Sa logistics naman, we have the distribution center, we have the raw material section, packaging material, and the MRO. Yun ang mga examples nun, and many more. Okay, cooperation among these components o yung pagkakaisa is very important. Like sa isang bansa, kung patuloy ang pagkakawatak-watak, nagbabangayan, nagsisihan, wala tayong mararating, Parang sa isang pamilya, kung ang isang membro napapariwara, kumakawala, walang pakipag-ugnayan, sumusuway sila, madaling masira ang pagmamahalan, di ba? Sa loob ng pamilya. Ganyan din naman sa supply chain, It's all about the relationship, integration, cooperation, and also the love, Ganun yan. Okay. If you want to dive into the world of supply chain, IEs are most welcome due to flexibility, So, yan. So, meron tayong mga careers in supply chain. Kasi, as we know, IE is the master of all trades. Kasi, ito, yung website na to, Job Street, kung i-browse nyo yung kanyang mga job offerings from data analyst, controller, staff, until supervisory, managerial, executive roles, meron sila. So, also, we are considering the possibility, bukod sa pagiging employed, pwede ka rin namang mag-self-employed, or you can own a business or become an entrepreneur. So, you should know at least the basics of the supply chain management. Like yung pinag-aralan natin ngayon, na very advantageous for an aspiring engineer, aspiring business owner, or entrepreneur. Kung certifications naman about supply chain management ang hanap, no, we have this next slide. We have the Philippine Institute of Supply Chain Management that offers various certification programs and trainings. Just visit their website and FB page to more about it. Just to add, no, I'm also promoting our advocacy, the iHelp Coaching and Business Solutions Inc. We offer very affordable and yet quality certification programs like entrepreneurial and business management courses, life skill coaching, computer skills, and many more. This can help us industrial engineers to not only gain technical know-how but also character building as well. At the same time, gaining certifications that will boost your credentials. iHelp is not your usual business na profit-oriented. We are people-oriented. We are here to offer products and services that fit the needs of every individual. Kung high school ka man, no, even high school grad, or kahit na college grad, you can search for iHelp in FB or sa aming website, or you can also visit my personal and professional FB page for information. Before I end my presentation, hiram lang tayo ng quotation kay Mati Stepanek. Unity is strength when there is teamwork and collaboration. Wonderful things can be achieved. Thank you very much and God bless. Keep safe always. If there's any question, feel free to ask by messaging me in the chat box. Thank you very much.